Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tristate with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tristate, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the Right Choice, voted 2024 Best of the Tri-State and the Best of the Tri-State Awards. We are pleased to be joined by Sarah Applegate. She is the Director of Youth Services for the Franklin County Library System. Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Were your holidays good?
Yes, very busy. I have two little ones, so it's always
How old are they?
My daughter is 5. She just turned 5 at Thanksgiving, and my son turned 2 right before Christmas.
Okay, our daughter's 4.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I think this was, so far, the most magical Christmas. Because every Christmas up to this, there hasn't been a lot of real understanding of what's going on. It's just been, there's gifts, and we'll open them, and it leads to toys. But I think this year, the magic of Santa and kind of understanding his role in everything, she really started to grasp on that. But I told my wife, I said, I think, and you can speak to this, I think next year at 5 years is probably going to be the best.
There's a lot of excitement this year. Because, now it all fully sinks in. And once Halloween was over, it was, Christmas is coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My son, because my son's only 2, and he barely opened presents for like 2 minutes. Then he wanted to play with whatever he had gotten, but my daughter just kept opening.
Our daughter, on her first and second Christmas, wanted to just play in the boxes.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, "What? We'll just get her boxes next time. That's all she needs." Of course, it doesn't go anymore. Now they're going to get fewer and farther between, but but they'll get more expensive because of technology. But it was so great. I love, it's all reinvented and reinvigorated in you when you have kids. And it's great that we're talking about this because you are the Director of Youth Services for the Franklin County Library System. So we've had representatives from the Franklin County Library in before, but I want you to take us through your role, your function, what it is that you do on a daily basis to contribute to the wonderful work that the Franklin County Library System does.
Yeah, so I started at COIL as the teen librarian and interlibrary loans. So I would get books from other libraries that we didn't have in our system for people. And then I've moved up over the last 10 years in the system. So I was the children's librarian at COIL for a long time, and then I was co-directing, and now I'm the Director of Youth Services for the entire system. Oh, wow. Which is a confusing thing for people. They don't understand exactly what it is. I basically oversee all of the youth staff, in a sense. I assist them, I support them, I bounce ideas off of them for programs, story times, bigger programs, guest entertainment that we get. And I also oversee all of our Beanstack reading challenges. So a lot of people are familiar with summer reading that the libraries do. That's a big thing for kids and families. We do that every summer, and we've also added winter. So we have a Cozy Up with Your Library card, winter library challenge that's currently going. And then we have a spring challenge. Our spring and fall challenges are shorter, just a month. Spring is near and far with your library card. Summer is splash into summer with your library card. And then the fall is fall in love with your library card. So I oversee all of those. You have to wait
all year for the great one, the Fall in Love.
Yeah.
I love a good name of a promotion like here in radio and TV, but hearing that, I'm like, yes, Fall in Love. I love it.
It just fell into place, too, this past fall. We came up with that one. I bounced ideas off of another staff member. So I oversee all of those things. I also help our youth staff get guest entertainment. So we have, coming up in March, we'll have the Reptile Guy again at Basore Library here in Greencastle and at Grove Family Library in Chambersburg. And he's always popular, so I make that connection with him. I set it up. I do all the organizing and scheduling there.
What's the date on that?
Saturday, March 1st.
Okay.
He'll be at Grove at 10 a.m., and then at Basore at 1 p.m.
Now, the Reptile Guy, for those who are watching or listening who may not know, I get the idea, I think, but take us through that.
There will be snakes, live snakes. He is, Jesse Rothacker is his name. He's on local things sometimes. He's the founder of Forgotten Friend Reptile Sanctuary. Okay. They're in Lancaster, I believe. And he brings lots of reptiles, tortoise, lizards, turtles, and snakes. I feel like one time he had a small alligator, but I could be wrong. I've seen him several times. My daughter is a big fan of snakes, so I've seen him several times. But he always draws in a crowd, so it will be popular, and we do have pre-registration for that.
That's wonderful. Now, you can do all of that at, is it fclspa.org?
Yep, on our calendar. He hasn't been added yet because I just booked him yesterday. So it will be up soon. Wow, so
this is the scoop right here today. I love that.
We just made the plans,
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It's going to be our closing for the Winter Library Challenge, which ends in mid-February.
All right. Well, so that pretty much takes us through the winter then, right? Then take us. I know you said the spring. You have the name for it, but what exactly does that entail? And I'm sure you'll add events as the season approaches.
So our spring challenge is the month of April. It just started last year. Was our rollout year for that one, and it's April 1st to 30th, and it's called Near and Far with Your Library Card. It's all about travel and how your library card can get you places that you didn't originally think it could. We have books about traveling. We have movies about traveling. We have Hoopla, one of our online resources. There's all kinds of things, magazines, audiobooks, music, that you can see and hear music from other countries and videos from other countries. And we have different activities. All of our challenges that we have on Beanstack and at the library are reading-based and activity-based. So reading a certain amount of minutes, usually 1,000 or less.
Right.
And then the activities are, I think for Near and Far, it'll be things like check out a book from another country, watch a movie that originally took place in another country, things like that for travel. And then there'll also be local travel. Get to know a new local restaurant to you.
Love that.
Yes, visit a local park you haven't been to before. And then we also have prizes for those. So we always have incentives and prizes. We have a treasure chest that hits all ages. There's items in there that everybody would like. And they're for reading increments and activity increments. And then we'll have our grand prizes. And then we have ticket drawing prizes that we do. For travel for April, it'll be things like luggage, a suitcase, a bag, Sheets gift cards usually, maybe Wawa, things like that.
I remember this being discussed before. There was some prizes that we didn't even, we're like, what? Those kind of prizes.
I work really hard to think of prizes and to get feedback on prizes that would hit everyone. So we always have prizes for all ages, from birth to adulthood, that I think would be appealing to anyone really. Right now, for Cozy Up, some of the prizes are, we have a Spidey and His Amazing Friends prize package.
Okay.
Which you're probably familiar with Spidey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my son loves Spin. And we have a prize package for Star Wars, because there are a lot of Star Wars fans out there. And then we have some more basic ones, gift cards. I think we have Sheets usually is there. And then we have some Dining Along 81 packages we're doing. So some restaurants in Shippensburg, some restaurants in Chambersburg, some restaurants in Greencastle, and then some things across Pennsylvania.
When you and I were growing up, when it comes to libraries, I think anyone watching this, because we're streamed on YouTube, it is a certain demographic, and I think it's very close to our group, our demographic. We have a vision of what the library was, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It is, but I think that it doesn't. I don't think I know it doesn't tell the full picture anymore. You know, when I was in school, I remember the computers in the library, because they renamed it the Library Media Center. They had just come in around my junior year, and of course that was back the big loud dial-up and all that. You got like 5 minute.
Yeah, you got time.
Yeah, it wasn't what it is today, where it's just ubiquitous. But take us through things that people may not even realize that the library has to offer them.
Oh, sure.
Because it's different than when we were kids.
One of the main things I do need to point out, because so many people don't know, is we are fine free now. So if you return an item late, a book, a movie, whatever, you will not be charged fines for it. If you have books or movies or anything that are overdue by a year, 2 years, bring them back. No fines, no problem.
Okay.
A lot of the things we have now are different. People don't expect us to have. We have, of course, books, like you said, and we have movies, and we have games and things. We have a lot of puzzles, the traditional things that people expect from the library. But we also have been really working on our Library of Things collection. So we have tool sets, we have equipment, we have sewing machines, we have kites, tents, backpacks. We recently got a lot of other baking equipment. So we have cake pans. We have cake pans in very popular shapes for birthday parties. I believe there's a unicorn, there's a Mickey Mouse, there's other characters that would be popular. We have records, like album vinyl records now at Coil Free Library. We have magazines and things.
I have to interrupt here. You're telling me that you have cake pans that folks who are members of the library, who have their library card, can go in and literally borrow a cake pan, go home, bake a cake, wash the dish, and bring it back.
Bring it back. They're not popular yet, but we just got them a little while ago. So
well, my good.
Yeah.
I would imagine again, here we are. This is one of those things where who would ever think that a library would have that? Do you think that is because there's been I don't want to say this. It used to be, oh my goodness, I want to use the internet. I have to go to the library.
Yes.
And then we have the internet on our phones. We have the world at our fingertips. So it's almost like filling in gaps that are no longer, not necessarily needed, but no longer as in demand as they were. Mm-hmm. Here we have this. And here's why I love the idea of the cake pan, as you were saying, because you mentioned a unicorn cake. My daughter loves unicorns.
Right.
What girl 4 years old doesn't? Mm-hmm. But I'm only going to need that one time.
Exactly. I think it's a lot of that. It's a mix of things. And then you're only going to need that one time. So a lot of people aren't going to buy something like that, but they know that they could use it. Mm-hmm. And it's something that they come in and they say, oh, I could make a unicorn cake pan for her birthday.
Right.
I didn't think I would. I was going to go buy a cake at the grocery store or get cupcakes made that shape. But no, you can do it.
You also mentioned tools, which speaks to me because I love home improvement projects, things like that. Do you take donations of those items? So, for instance, if let's say I had a giraffe cake pan, would that be something that you could add to the library's collection, and then that could also be up for someone to come get? Or if I have, say, an older drill, it still works, but I upgrade it a little bit, is that something that you'd be interested in? Typically,
yes. We do take a lot of donations of things. I always say call the library you're looking at just in case. We do get a lot of donations of the vinyl records now that we're starting that. We haven't gotten too many cake pans that I'm aware of.
Well, get ready.
But we're always looking. So it's always yes, and we definitely take book donations as well still too. But call the library head just to make sure, just to let them know that you're coming or to see if it's something they would take at the time.
How does it work with when it comes to a library card of what we knew when we were growing up versus what it is now? Is it still a physical card, or is it on your phone? How do you guys work that now?
We have multiple options. Okay. You can get a library card online, and you can have it on your phone. We have an app that we have through the library system, which is really handy, and you can check out books on the app even. If you like, when you're in the library, you just scan the barcodes. Check out, and you can go. I do it all the time.
I never would have. That would have dawned on me.
It's very handy. We have self-checkouts, too, that you can just scan the books on your way out of the door. But on our app, you can look up books, you can do things like that. We also have a lot of other online resources that you only need to have an online library card for. You can get the online library card, and you're more than welcome. We would love for you to come to the library and get a physical version of that card. But you can also just keep the online one and just do our online resources if you prefer. We have access to all kinds of things through our library card online. Hoopla, like I said, has movies, music, videos, and books and audiobooks. We have Libby, which has not just books and audiobooks and magazines and newspapers now. They've added a new component that's called it's like a version of Masterclass, but not.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember exactly what it's called. Then we also have Connect Well, which has all kinds of health resources. We have Lope for Kids we just got, which is picture books in over 250 languages, including ASL. We have all kinds of online resources that your card gets you access to. Then at the library, you have the physical items as well, and programs and things that we have.
And I think one of the lesser known, of course, I think it was a bit more known than cake pans, but was the usage of space.
Yes.
And I remember, if Katie were here, she would love to tell this story. She was going for her master's, and this has been about 10 years ago or more, and I would help her with math. And we could have done it here. We were working here at the radio station, but there's something to be said for getting away from a comfortable space, so to speak. So she made a couple phone calls, and over here at the Bay Store Library in Greencastle, they said, sure, you're welcome to come here and use one of our rooms. So we got a very nice room that had a dry erase board and markers. It was, feel free to use, we just asked that you obviously clean up, before you leave. And I didn't know, and I told her, well, how much did they, charge to rent the space? She said, it's free.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So I don't think a lot of people realize that if you now obviously they're not massive rooms or banquet halls, as it were, but if you just need a space to get a few people together and maybe go over something, brainstorm, whatever, maybe you have, 10 people in your HOA and you just need a place to be, there you go. The library could be a place for that. The library is one of those, well, let me put it this way. This program, Let's Talk Tri-State, since its inception back in October, I have found so much about businesses that I didn't know. For instance, I grew up in the south end of Hagerstown, a stone's throw away from the Washington County Museum of Fine Arts. Okay. We had one of their curators here about a month or so ago. I had no idea what all the Museum of Fine Arts has to offer. Not a clue. So, and I'm finding out about businesses that even they exist, and a lot of it's about education. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't know something exists, you're not going to go to it. Right. But then this specific interview, finding out things about the businesses themselves mm-hmm. that you may not have even known. The library, not necessarily a business, but who would know these things? And I don't mean to sound incredulous about this. It's always baffling to me every time I hear about the library system. There's something else that you offer.
Oh, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. Not a business, but a big vital part of the community.
Absolutely.
We have, like you said, community spaces that people can use. We do have some larger rooms available as well.
Okay.
Coyle Free Library has a movie theater in the basement that's available for rent as well.
Wow.
And we host all kinds of events that people don't think about. We have birthday parties, baby showers. We've had receptions. Community businesses have used our rooms for training and things like that. It's interviews. Yeah, you're right. The spaces are big. It's big for programs for the libraries, too. It gives us a space to have community members come in for programs that we host as well.
Do you find that usage of the library or any of its components, do you find that you have more in the way of adults, children, teenagers, middle-aged, older? What do you see when you're going about your usual week?
In my opinion, in my field, I see mostly children families because that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
But we do have every age comes in the door of the library because we have something for everyone.
Right.
That's what we're there to do. Right now, we're definitely high traffic for families and young children. We have so many programs going on currently that were refreshed this year that we've been seeing a lot. We have our 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program that I just finished revamping this year, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're encouraging children to read 1,000 books before they start kindergarten, which sounds like a lot. Right. It's actually very easy if you're reading 3 or 4 books a night to your child. It's done.
And they're typically very short books,
yeah. For my son is 2. We just finished up for him this year because we read to him 10 books a night.
Yeah.
And it's the same. A lot of the time, it's the same book over and over, as you know, and that counts.
Yeah.
So it's that, and then we have our grade 3 at the library. We started this past spring, where we're trying to get a library card for every 3rd grader in Franklin and Fulton counties. Okay. So we saw a lot of 3rd graders at that time. So I see a lot of young ones. That's what I'm looking for. A lot of families. But we also have teens coming in for programs. Blue Ridge Summit Library, they have a strong teen community.
Yeah. Great library.
Yes,
love them up there.
And then we have Basehor has a good program for teens and little ones too. And then we see adults for all kinds of programs. At Coyle, they have guitar lessons and language classes. Grove has all kinds of programs going on for old adults as well.
So you bring up the classes, and maybe this is kind of the same thing, or maybe talking semantics here, but are there instructional type components to it? Like, I'll give an example, and then there may be an equivalent that you would have to it, like perhaps a cooking class. Mm-hmm. So do you have that type of, and there's a reason, so that's question one. So do you have that or things like that?
I would say yes. Okay. We have, if not that exact, we have versions of it, like the cookbook club at Basehor.
Okay.
They do cooking, and
So then the follow-up to that is, what if someone's watching or hearing this that says, well, I have a particular skill. I'm very good at, say, whittling wood or cooking, whatever the case may be. Is it one of those things where you could utilize their services and say, well, if you would like to host a seminar or a class?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. We're always looking for community partners, whether it's just a regular person, a patron, or a business or a community organization. We're always looking for partners. Mm-hmm. We're always looking for ideas for programs. We've had lots of our patrons host or co-host or assist or help or visit the library to share information like that, especially for near and far coming up. If you've traveled somewhere that's really interesting, you'd like to do a little presentation on it, contact your local library. They might have a program for it.
Near and far. So that's what the Franklin County Library has, that program. So walk me through that, because Katie's going to be very upset she missed this interview right now, because she loves to travel, and I'm sure she would love to give a presentation about where she's going.
Oh, yes. So our April program coming up, Near and Far with Your Library Card. It will be the Beanstack Challenge, so reading activities, but we also will have programs throughout the month of April that are focused on travel, local, far away, near and far. Mm-hmm. So we'll have things like that. Each library does something different, and they're still planning, so I can't say what's happening. Sure. I do know we'll have some author visits. We're working with Shippensburg University to bring in an author for teens, young adults, that we'll be sharing, and they'll visit Shippensburg, and also in Chambersburg they'll probably be visiting. And then we have a children's author that we're looking at booking as well, Annette Whipple. I can tell her name because I know I have her confirmed. She has a lot of nonfiction books about animals that will be interesting for little ones.
So the date again for Reptile Guy?
Reptile Guy is Saturday, March 1st.
And they're going to be at Coyle in Greencastle later in the afternoon, but earlier will be?
It'll be 10 a.m. Grove in Chambersburg, and then Basehor at 1 p.m. here in Greencastle.
Perfect. We've been talking with Sarah Applegate. She is with the Franklin County Library System, and she is the Director of Youth Services. Our youth are in great hands with you, Sarah. I can tell the passion that you have. And I think, and a pre-registration is going to be open for the Reptile Guy.
Yes.
I think my daughter's going to want it. She loves animals and iguanas and
I'll be there.
All that kind of stuff. I don't know that I will be. You know? No, I'm just kidding. I think that'd be great to see.
You should. You can touch the snake. It's great.
That's fine with me. You know, I don't mind it. If she loves it, I love anything that she loves. Well, thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tri-State. And we will be right back with more Let's Talk Tri-State.
Let's Talk Tri-State.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.